it's awful. You know, there's a lot of trees on houses. There's a lot of trees that are heaving now, that are ready to fall. I mean, it's very bad. The tree was laying on the roof and it was on top of the wires, so we had Coastal come in and use their crane. Their crane's a lot bigger than ours. If we hadn't used the crane, there could have possibly been property damage.
I guess we started tracking the formation of this storm as early as this past weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And Monday, in earnest, we actually started having regular weather calls to track the potential progress and monitor what the expected impact on our customers would be. Starting Tuesday, we actually ramped up a parallel organization to begin staffing plans, work with other utilities to see if we could get external resources. We've actually been working to secure them, get them on site, monitor staging areas, develop a staffing plan, all while continuing to monitor when the weather would hit.
My responsibility is to show the out-of-state crews our territory and show them where the problems are and have them do the repair work. We do prepare the crews before we even go out in the field. We go over our safety briefings, our job briefings that we typically do here at BGE, and so once we get on the job site, they know what's expected of them. As far as going over the job, I explain to them our system. We go over the feeder prints so everybody's familiar with the work that has to be done.
This is considered a severe impact storm where we're expecting to have hundreds of thousands of customers out of service. So part of that is a lot of preparation work, bringing external crews in into staging areas and then opening regional command centers so the regional command centers can quickly analyze the work, identify the jobs that we need to work, and then quickly working on developing job packages and getting that work crisply into the field so we can begin to restore service to those customers.
Closer to Baltimore, the bulk of the damage came from hulking trees ripped down by Irene.
Thousands of trees fell, blocking hundreds of roads.
Luckily, no one was in this wing of a Northwest Baltimore home when a tree destroyed one section. Damage also to this 1943 Mount Washington home and the car parked in the driveway. Irene's visit to Maryland lasted only hours, but cleaning up her mess could take months.
It was about 6 o'clock in the morning. The power had just gone out about 5:45. And then all of a sudden there was a big gust of wind and we heard like a boom and a crack, and then the tree behind us just got uprooted and fell through the roof of our house. My wife was downstairs, I was upstairs, my daughter was in her bedroom, and made sure everything was okay. And first thing I did was I called the BGE number. I talked to an agent there and told her about the situation and what was going on. Right after that, another tree fell down, so I called them back and let them know that another tree had come down and taken out more power lines around us. Let them know that there were down lines and down trees in the area.
Well, the Customer Relations Contact Center is a 24/7 operations, even under normal circumstances, but with the storm, we also need to staff up. So to prepare for Hurricane Irene, we actually made proactive phone calls to all of our customers to alert them of the storm, that it was coming and it was going to arrive. We actually did that 2 to 3 days in advance. We have a supplemental workforce that has joined us, in addition to our normal customer service representatives, and everyone's been working together, taking outage calls or taking down wire calls. We've been working 16-hour shifts here. It's been mandatory 16 hours. It's challenging. All the employees of BGE, as well as all our supplemental workforce, that we're all working as hard as we can to get that service back in.
This job at this point, we had a large tree come down across each phase which shortened things out, which cut everybody's electric out in this area. And hopefully we'll have them back to service in about an hour. Up here in Mount Washington, you have a lot of trees, and usually when the trees come down, they come down in there, you take down the wires, and it's very hazardous out here.
Well, we got these boys, we can't get a truck in here to this backyard, so they're having to climb this pole, and you know, a tree had fell on this wire and tore the services, and the wire down and the services, and they're having to climb it and sleeve it back together, and then we'll, you know, get it tied into the poles and heat it back up and get these people's power back on.
This damage in particular ranks probably at the one at the top that I've ever witnessed, and this whole storm in general is ranks right up there as #1 in damage.
Folks have been putting aside their own personal needs and coming to work. You know, people have power out at home, people have issues with their own houses, but you know, they're so dedicated, they know that their priority, they need to be here.
People don't always understand, and people don't, you know, you got to remember that these guys, the BGE guys, the guys from out of state, I mean, there's guys working who are going to restore my power who are from Kentucky, from Iowa, from Indiana. There's been a lot of sacrifices on a lot of people's parts, and that's what's really important to remember. And I really, you know, have a good understanding of how hard these guys are working. BGE didn't make the tree fall, the wind made the tree fall. It's been crazy, but, you know, day 6, we're still smiling, we're good.